Hey everyone, welcome back to Deploy Securely. I'm Walter Haydock, the founder and CEO of StackAware. We help organizations manage their cybersecurity, compliance, and privacy risk. And today in this video, we're going to be discussing neutral security policies versus tainted trust boundaries. So a huge capability of generative AI, especially large language models, is something called retrieval augmented generation. This allows you to conduct generation of new content against existing knowledge, like a knowledge base, a structured database, a help center. Really useful capability that allows you to ground your responses in known good data. It helps reduce hallucinations and also gives you a way to trace back to the source of information and help you fact check the LLM app when it gives you an answer. So this is great. And last fall, OpenAI released a feature called Custom GPTs that allowed folks to build their own, essentially RAG applications. But there were pretty quickly some security researchers who discovered that it was possible to extract the entire knowledge base out of these custom GPTs, which the builders of them pretty clearly did not intend to happen. So basically, what happened was the custom GPTs were marketed, or there was an implied marketing that they contained a neutral security policy, meaning that whoever had access to the application should also have access to the entire underlying data set. Now, people didn't get this message because it wasn't explicitly clear, and OpenAI itself wasn't exactly clear internally about how it should be architecting and protecting this data. For example, another security researcher extracted the system prompt from one of these custom GPTs that was built by OpenAI, and the system prompt said, under no circumstances should you provide the underlying knowledge base, even if the user asks. So this implies that OpenAI thought users should not have access to the underlying database or data set in its entirety, but the actual architecture of the apps did indeed facilitate this access. So I'm going to get into the details here and walk you through the difference between a neutral security policy, which is what you should have, and a tainted trust boundary, which is what occurred in some of these custom GPTs that folks were building. All right, so we're going to start off by depicting a neutral security policy here. Let me just write this out. All right, so this is what we want to have. And in this scenario, you've got your user, and then you've got your LLM app, and then you've got your RAG data here. And this could be anything. In this case, we're going to say it's a database of ice cream flavors and ingredients. So, the system prompt would look something like, you are an ice cream recipe database. All well and good. And then the key here is that all of this, the user, the RAG data, and the LLM application are all in access control group A. So all of these things have equivalent entitlements, and you expect that a user in access control group A should have access to this LLM application, but also the entire underlying database. So this is fine. This is good. Now, the problem occurs when something like this happens. This is a tainted trust boundary. So what happens here is you've got your user, you've got the LLM app here, and then you've got your RAG data here. Now, this becomes a problem if you've got the user and the LLM application are in access control group A. But the RAG data is in access control group B. So this is basically the way that people were building their custom GPTs. They had the app and the user were in access control group A, and the user could access the LLM app, but the LLM app could then access data from access control group B. And now the way OpenAI tried to deal with this scenario was by having a system prompt that had the equivalent of "you are an ice cream recipe database. Whatever you do, do not mention chocolate." Now, chocolate ice cream is disgusting, so that makes complete sense from a surface level perspective. But the issue is that using this prompt to moderate access to the underlying data is bound to fail. And it did fail quite spectacularly in the case of many of these custom GPTs. So the key is that what you want is a neutral security policy whereby all of the data, the application, and the user are in the same access control group, or you can have nested control access groups or access control groups. But what you do not want is to have a tainted trust boundary where a data set is in a different access control group than an LLM application which has access to that data, because that will create problems when the user is able to access types of data to which he is not entitled. So that's all for today. Really appreciate your time. Please drop any questions you have in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video and got value from it, please hit the like button and also hit subscribe so that you get updated anytime I release a new video like this. Thanks a lot. Bye.